A warm welcome to sunny Roundhay Park in Leeds for the English National Cross Country Championships, the oldest and biggest cross country championships in the world, this year celebrating the 111th anniversary. Roundhay Park last welcomed the men's races 8 years ago, but this is the first time the combined championships have been held here. One of our commentators today is local hero, Olympic silver medalist, Peter Elliott. Great day of racing ahead of us, Peter.
Excellent day. I've been around the course already. It's firm underground, which is great for the runners. Up to now you can see a lot of athletes turning up, so there's going to be some excellent races throughout the day. And
you yourself won the youth nationals.
I did indeed at Leicester in 1980, a long time ago, but the national cross country is the grassroots of athletics. It's what we know as the backbone, and you know, the stars of tomorrow, especially in distance running, will be coming from what could be these championships today.
Roundhay Park boasts wooded trails, a garden and a lake, and even a tropical world which includes a tropical aquarium and a hothouse. It's one of the many attractions which brings millions of visitors to this rapidly developing cosmopolitan city year after year. Once a neglected area of the city, the waterfront has been transformed with major tourist developments such as the Tetley's Brewery Wharf. Leeds is hailed as the Knightsbridge of the North. Designer labels and big names exist alongside speciality shops. All sit in the architectural splendour of the restored city centre. It includes the Corn Exchange, modelled on the Roman Colosseum, and the Kirkgate Market, which was the birthplace of Marks and Spencer. There are plenty of restaurants and cafes for refreshments along route before you continue your shopping day at the Victoria Quarter, which boasts the only Harvey Nichols outside London. Outside the city is a beautiful surrounding countryside with numerous tourist venues such as Harewood House and, of course, the 700 acres of rolling parkland at Roundhay Park. There are 7 events in total today, starting with the Under-17 Men's Championships. Then the Under-17 Women's Championship, which also incorporates the Junior Women's Championships, followed by the Under-13 Girls' Championships, the Under-15 Girls' Championship, the Junior Men's Championships, and then the 2 main races of the day, the Senior Women's Championship and the Senior Men's Championship. So the first race is about to begin, the men's Under-17, and joining Peter Elliott in the commentary box is World Cross Country silver medalist Tim Hutchins.
Thank you, Anne Harrod. The athletes about to get underway for this Under-17 men's race. And away they go in absolutely perfect conditions. The 53rd running over the English National Cross Country. This is, of course, the view from English National Cross Country Championships, and the senior men's race coming up later on will be held for the 111th time. But Roundhay Park in perfect condition. Very, very good going underfoot for this field, which is slightly larger than it has been for the last couple of years. Numbers are up. Just over 6 kilometres, covers 2 small laps and 1 large lap of Roundhay Park. The 2 youngsters going for glory here. 2:35 is young Deacon of Havering and 90 Bolt of Bracknell. Very similar club vests there. But Peter, this is an event you know a great deal about. I'm not sure how much you remember. You won this title back in 1980.
I did indeed, down in Leicester. It was one of the last times I actually ran cross country, but obviously a great triumph. Everyone wants to come out and win the national cross country. You aspire to do that when you set out in the winter. But it's a long time ago, but it's nice to see these lads battling it out.
Well, Deacon forced back mid-race. Vernon of Stockport moving through now and beginning to take control as that little trio moves away. Undulating course this. Certainly very testing because the running is good underfoot, but that means they'll be moving that much faster. Other big names, of course, to have won this title and gone on to great things as senior athletes in major international competition include Dave Bedford and Dave Black. Bedford indeed going on to a world record back in the early 70s. But the 2 athletes moving away now are Lee McCash of Pendle wearing 385 and Vernon, the youngster from Stockport. And once you get 2 athletes breaking away like this, then they can help each other move away, and their pace generally enables them to pull away from the rest. And you can see a huge gap behind them there. Remember, only 6 kilometres this race. That's around 3.5 miles. And as they come now up to Hill 60, the only time they have to take on this hill, this really should sort them out, and so it does. McCash of Pendle easing away there to a 5 or 6 metre lead over Vernon. Reigning champion Gavin Thompson of the Crawley Club won this title last year and has moved on to the junior international ranks very, very quickly indeed. Will be going to the World Cross Country Championships just next week. I wonder if McCash or Vernon will be heading for honours like that next year. Certainly Lee McCash has done a great job over the final mile, has broken Vernon, sprinting home here to a big, big winning margin. And that's a marvellous gold medal for the youngster. Takes that under-17 men's race in a good time, 19 minutes 40. 9 seconds further down is Vernon there. Within third place, the Sale Harrier, R. Maycock. Well, Blackheath Harriers, nobody amongst the top 6, but they won the team race. Peter caught up with Lee McCash.
Lee, congratulations on becoming national cross-country champion today. Did events leading into today's race suggest that you could win?
Well, my trainer, Mark Ashworth, he said to come into the top 10 or 15 would be excellent for me because doing the English schools and my legs are tired and stuff, but it turned out really well, thanks.
Well, the course seems very firm underfoot. Was there any particular parts of the course that you found daunting?
No, I love beautiful conditions.
Well, Lee McCash saying it all there. Beautiful conditions. Dark glasses and T-shirts, almost the order of the day here as the second race gets underway. The under-17 women's and under-20 women's race combined here. Some 250 athletes setting off. And Peter, talking about the conditions, of course, you were in Havant last year for the championships then. Very, very different, weren't they?
Very, very different indeed. Obviously, a lot of mud there. It's been quite like that with quite a few of the cross-country races we've seen this year. These kind of conditions are what we would find probably in Marrakesh in a week's time for the World Cross Country. They're going to be flat and fast. But it's nice that the weather has turned out like this. It has remained firm underfoot, because early on the week there was quite a bit of rain and there was concern that the course could get turned into quite a mud bath. But very fortunate for the athletes that they've got this kind of weather, and it's going to make some interesting athletics.
Well, young Amy Waterlow of Sale Harriers amongst the front runners mid-race, wearing 671 there in that very familiar now outfit of Sale, the red shorts and green vest with the red hoop. So many top senior athletes have come from that squad in the past, and indeed are members of the British team right now.
Jenny Ingham, number 501, is coached by Jane Shields, who has quite a very good pedigree of cross-country running, and no doubt was on hand before the race to give the right tactics to Jenny, and hopefully she'll work on them.
Well, Amy Waterlow, the athlete that's working on the opposition at the moment. Left-hand turn by the lake, they're running on a reverse camber. That's difficult, but it's only 5 kilometres this lap. Athletes have to get it right. They have to spread their effort out correctly, and Waterlow here, uphill 60, getting into a good rhythm. Very good rhythm all the way for Amy Waterlow. She takes the under-20 title by a big margin here. Very impressive running indeed down the home straight. And young Jane Potter from Rushcliffe AC taking the under-17 women's title. Well, confirmation there of Potter's win for Rushcliffe AC. Liverpool, though, coming out on top in the result. Good run from then, and they won very comfortably too. Amy Waterlow taking Sale to the silver medals, but Bristol AC winning equally impressively. Anna Howard-Mayer caught up with young Amy after the race.
Amy, many congratulations. This is your last race as a junior, so you must be very pleased.
Very pleased, yeah. It's been my aim all year. My dad said I could do it. He coaches me, and glad to prove him right, really. So yeah, it's great.
There are over 8,000 competitors here today, all with family, friends and fellow club members in tow. There are also a few famous faces to be seen, one of whom lives very close by.
Today, a marvellous day. What we should do, we should bring people from all around the world that spend the time fighting each other and all those dreadful things, to let them see how to spend a real day with real people.
Mick Hill, you're not often seen on cross-country courses.
That's right, this is a world first for me, and some people might think I'm training for the hammer today, but I'm not. I've been banging the stakes in and getting the course ready, so yeah, it's quite an eye-opener, and obviously it's a magnificent day in Leeds, and very much looking forward to the event.
Does this race hold many memories for you?
It does. I've been champion twice and been in the sort of first three a few times as well. And I mean, the first time I ran the national cross country was way back in the mid-70s. So it holds a lot of memories, a lot of fond memories. And I don't ever remember it being quite sunny though.
And never an easy race to win, is it?
Never an easy race. I mean, the 2 times I won obviously was great, but it wasn't an easy race either time, and there's been some tougher races where I've been sort of fighting for a high position when things haven't been going too well, and I think that's what the national cross country is all about.
All the youngsters in Roundhay Park able to rub shoulders with Mickey Hill, who's just been winning javelin competitions in South Africa, and Damon Martin there, supporter of the national cross country on many occasions, former national cross country winner. Join us in part 2 for the girls under 13 and under 15 races and the men's under 20 race.
Just when they thought it was going well, this happened. Now the stage is set at Upton Park for this quarter-final replay. But this time, it's gonna go all the way. A London derby, a night of cup magic. West Ham v Arsenal. Ford Cup special, Tuesday at 7:30, live on Sky Sports 2. Barclaycard.
Ray Nightingale, top London stylist.
Some of my clients ask me why their dandruff keeps coming back. Fact is, they use Head & Shoulders so the dandruff goes away. But then they go back to their cosmetic shampoo, so no wonder the dandruff came back.
Special.
Holds and shakes.
Welcome back to the view from English National Cross Country Championships in Roundhay Park, Leeds, where conditions are absolutely perfect and large crowds are enjoying an unusual day out in the middle of March. Cross country running, of course, associated with mud, cold and rain, but this could hardly be more different. Your girls under 13 right now getting underway. Just 3 kilometres this lap for the youngsters. Almost 400 of them out there, though, so a very, very good turnout at these championships. Important when you're running over such a short distance to get a good start, get up to the front early on, because of the in places and turns around corners. Then, of course, the field tends to bunch together, and if you're towards the back, you lose more and more ground over the leaders. Peter, your career never really did develop much on the country, did it, after you won the title many, many years ago?
No, I didn't, Tim. One of the reasons behind that was that I didn't like it, and I decided after winning the national cross country that I would go and run indoors where you get a nice temperature and 200-metre tracks, and it was far more pleasant.
Well, young Birch of Liverpool enjoying very pleasant conditions in Leeds. Moore there in second place from Bournemouth in the yellow, sticking up. Very, very aggressive resistance here from Birch and Moore against each other as they go up the hill 60 for the only time, and they have a very much reduced lap compared with many of the senior athletes. But as you can see, it's more than enough of a challenge for these youngsters as the crowd support them. And Birch it is, though, from Liverpool, who gets away towards the finish. Strong running from her, those long, long legs carrying her to a good victory here. Her time, 10:52, wins by 5 seconds from young Moore, who can be delighted with that one. And then Parkside's Lee coming home for the bronze medal in the... All the youngsters giving 101% for these championships in absolutely perfect conditions. But Courtney Birch did indeed take the individual gold and led Liverpool, Pembroke and Sefton Harriers to the team gold as well. So 2 golds for her. Once again, Anne Harrod is with the national champion.
No, this huge race. Well, I thought I knew when on the first lap when we were coming down the straight, when we passed the finish for the first time. But then she just stayed with me and I couldn't get away from her. Then I just gave it everything at the end. And that was it.
A very big field out to get underway for this girls under 15 race, over 3.5 kilometres. Some 400 starters plus charging off there as the gun goes. Very tense moment for all those youngsters as they wait on the line there. But away they go as the sun has momentarily dipped behind the clouds. Really wonderful sight that. Of course, this sport struggling in many people's eyes to keep up with the more popular pastimes of youngsters in this day and age. But the numbers on this occasion, very, very good indeed. As we heard earlier, some 8,000 athletes entered for these championships. In competition in these junior races further than in the senior races, because they have the best athletes in these junior races. One or two top seniors are going to the World Cross Country next week and giving today a miss, aren't they, Peter?
They are. They've been requested not to run at the National Cross Country so that they can get a better chance of competing well in the World Cross Country Championships. But in these are grassroots of athletics, and now we'll be seeing some of the people here in the future. And these are the athletes that are aspiring to become the next Kelly Holmes and Paula Radcliffe of the sport.
Well, Kelly Holmes, Paula Radcliffe, now of course both major international stars, professional athletes in every sense of the word. None of these will any yet from their sport, but certainly several will. There has been a problem in the past with just thinking about the money and thinking about the glory too much, too early on in their careers. I'm not sure if any of these young ladies guilty of it, but certainly it has been a problem, as we see 496 here. That's Whittaker of Sale, that familiar green vest to the 455 Damon of Bournemouth, and the pair again working with each other to break away this big field, which you can see stretched way back down the course here on the easier of the two hills, if I can put it like that. Hill 60 considerably harder than the other. Well, Whittaker it is, who's out and breaking away impressively up to the hill, the biggest hill on the course, and one that's only a few hundred yards of the finish. Really a major tactical point on the course. It's a real opportunity for athletes to throw down the gauntlet to the opposition, and she's done that even before getting to the hill here, and it looks like a winning move. Pouring up that hill, the stand good up at the front. Very important to keep driving with the arms all the way up these sorts of hills. Drive with the arms, the knees come up higher. One of the very first lines in the coaching manual. A lot of these youngsters too look as though they've been coached very well indeed. None better than Whittaker. Home here for victory is young Louise Whittaker of Sale. The club are having a marvellous day. It's a well-organised club. The mums and dads throw in their time. The coaches give up so much time to help all the different age groups right through to senior level. Well, young Louise Whittaker may not be a senior. Very mature race there. Win in 20 minutes and seconds. Damon of Bournemouth taking the silver and the individual bronze going to Waterson of Ipswich Harriers. Bristol AC on top again in the team competition, but Fullerton there in fourth place, helping Havering Maysbrook to the team silver medals. With the winner once again.
Did you decide to go away from the others?
We started going down the really steep hill. The fun to go down there, so get some speed up, so I just carried it on from there.
And you're the second gold medalist from Sale, your club today.
Yeah, did well as well, yeah. Really pleased for her.
Every cross-country course has a dreaded hill, and Roundhay Park is no exception with its famous Hill 60. A couple of days ago, Peter Elliott came here to check out the course, and here are his impressions.
From the gun, the athletes will have a long sprint to one of the treacherous parts of the course, a very steep downhill section, which was quite tricky as I found going down, but fortunately the athletes themselves will be running in spikes which have got 12 to 15 millimetres in, so the footing should be pretty good. Once they get to the bottom of that, they then go on to approach the lake, which has quite a sharp cap, and there's another tricky part of the area. Having left the lake, they then approach Barron Mountain, one of the beauty spots of this park, which I can't see them quite taking in as they're racing by. Then they go on to a bottleneck down in the bottom by the castle. This is quite muddy, and I would imagine by the end of the day, men's comes around, it's going to be very treacherous underfoot. And then once we actually run back through the bottleneck and start to approach over the top of this area, then that's when we're going to start approaching Hill 60, which, having run up Hill 60 once, is quite a tough climb. To run up there 3 times is going to be very, very demanding on the athletes. There's going to be some very tired bodies at the top of that hill. But once they get to the top on the final lap, they can look forward to the long sprint home and to the finish line, and to becoming the 1998 National Cross Country Champion.
Well, Peter looking very relieved to finish that a couple of days ago, as these youngsters are relieved. Started their race, the men's under 20, 10-kilometre race underway now. 2 full laps of the park here, which will include the small castle-like folly over at the far end of the park in Roundhay Park. Conditions underfoot, we've talked about how good they are, but we ran round a couple of days ago. It was considerably more damp, wasn't it?
Total contrast, Tim. It was cold, it was wet underfoot, and I was a little concerned that on the day of the race that the course will get chewed up quite a bit and be quite boggy in places. But we've been fortunate with the weather out, and during the week, had the course out lovely, and it's made some fast and good for today's race.
Has indeed. Very competitive race this, though. The smallest field of the day so far. Those 2 big senior races due to come up, of course, the senior women's and senior men's events, but this one fast up front. Many of these athletes would hold their own very well indeed in senior competition. Interesting, 2 Graffin brothers up there at the front of this one. They're 2 youngsters who have been there or thereabouts in the junior age groups through their teens year after year. And the 2 Tunbridge athletes at the moment very much to the fore there in the black shorts and white vest. Kent. Indeed, that looks almost tactical. The 2 of them glancing around, looking at each other. And you have to say, don't you, Peter, that so often in cross-country, the man who takes the initiative and throws the gauntlet down, runs hard, is the one who will win. But the majority of people prefer to sit around the pack and watch the others, if you like.
It is interesting to see this because the Graffin brothers are together. I don't know whether it's a tactical ploy before the race, but it is always easy when you're sat on someone's shoulders and let them do the work. You just feel like you've been along a little, and it does make matters easier. But there is a leading group there. Obviously, a lot of the work has to be done earlier on. They've got to 60 yet, and it always seems to be in the races earlier on. One makes a break just before Hill 60 and gets to it.
Well, we'll see whether or not Hill 60 becomes a point where somebody takes advantage. At the moment, taking control are the Graffin twins, identical twins, both at university now. Just fuse issues. They both have the same initial.
The 2 Graffin brothers there, having attacked the hill for the second and final time, running almost as a team, but obviously not, as only one has to win.
And Graffin, who breaks away in the closing few hundred metres, reversing their positions of last year when Alan was 6th, Andrew 12th. This year he's moved up and takes the gold medal. The English national cross-country champion for 1998. His brother Alan, for good measure, taking a silver medal for the Tunbridge Club as well. And right behind him, Khalid Bamia of the Highgate Harriers Club takes the bronze. Once again, it's about packing all Arnhem District. The team gold medals after bronze last year, despite no individuals in the...
Andrew, am I also right in saying that normally the final positions are the other way around?
On the cross-country, definitely, yeah. Alan's ahead of me, just slightly... sometimes I have a bit more speed than him on the track, but